One day, you're alert, focused, and completely yourself. The next, you're hallucinating. Words escape you. Your loved ones look like strangers. You're not on drugs. You're not losing your mind. And this is not the plot of a psychological thriller, although it became one. In 2016, a Netflix film called Brain on Fire told the story of a young journalist whose mind began to unravel overnight. What seemed like a psychiatric breakdown turned out to be something else entirely: her immune system attacking her brain. This isn't fiction. It's a very real, very misunderstood condition called autoimmune encephalitis, and it's changing how we think about the brain, behavior, and mental illness. Welcome to Neuro&Psycho, where we explore the fascinating crossroads between psychology, the brain, and everyday life. Subscribe now to keep exploring how your brain shapes the world around you. Today, we're diving into one of the most puzzling and revealing conditions in modern neuroscience: autoimmune encephalitis. A disease where the body's own immune system turns against the brain, disrupting memory, identity, and even consciousness itself. It's a journey into a medical mystery that blurs the line between psychiatry and neurology and forces us to ask, what is the mind when the brain is under siege? Let's start with what's happening under the surface. Autoimmune encephalitis. The name sounds complex, but at its core, it's an inflammation of the brain caused not by infection, but by the immune system itself. No bacteria, no virus. Just your own defenses misfiring. Instead of protecting the brain, immune cells begin attacking it, especially key proteins like the NMDA receptor, which acts as a vital gateway for learning, memory, and communication between neurons. Think of it like a volume knob. Too much activity, and you get seizures, hallucinations, agitation. Too little, and the brain shuts down into silence, catatonia, mutism, or disconnection. And when those receptors are blocked or destroyed, the brain's signals go haywire, like pulling out the cables from a control panel and crossing the wires. What follows is a cascade of symptoms that can look like just about anything: anxiety, panic, speech problems, memory lapses, visual or auditory hallucinations, seizures, delusions, disorientation, even aggression or a deep state of unresponsiveness. And this is where the condition becomes so complex. These symptoms don't belong to just one category. They don't look like a classic brain disease. They overlap with psychiatric disorders, neurological syndromes, and metabolic disturbances. It's a moving target, and it shifts quickly. Take the real-life story of Susannah Cahalan, whose case inspired both a best-selling book and the film Brain on Fire. In her 20s, she was a rising star at the New York Post, ambitious, articulate, full of energy. Then, over just a few weeks, everything changed. It started with mood swings. Then came paranoia, hallucinations, memory blackouts. She had trouble speaking. She didn't recognize her parents. Eventually, she began to seize and slipped into a near catatonic state. Doctors explored multiple possibilities. Was it psychiatric, neurological, infectious? Each new symptom pointed in a different direction. For a while, no one had answers. The picture didn't fit any single diagnosis. Finally, a neurologist suspected something more unusual and ordered a spinal tap. That's when the antibodies were found. Anti-NMDA receptor encephalitis, a rare and newly recognized autoimmune disorder. With the right treatment, immunotherapy, steroids, plasma exchange, her condition began to reverse. Her mind returned piece by piece. Susannah's case didn't just change her life, it changed the way medicine sees this disease. Her memoir and its film adaptation have helped raise awareness worldwide, putting a name to symptoms that were once invisible. What makes this illness so disturbing is how completely it hijacks the self. It doesn't just affect movement or speech. It can fragment personality, distort perception, and erase memory. One day you're fine. The next, you're unable to find your own reflection in the mirror. The body is intact, but the you inside flickers. And because it mimics so many conditions, diagnosing it isn't simple. The antibodies involved can be found through tests on blood or cerebrospinal fluid, but those tests aren't part of routine evaluations. MRI scans may or may not show inflammation. Some cases are unmistakable. Others unfold slowly or fluctuate, making it difficult to pinpoint the cause. That's why clinical expertise, timing, and context all matter. The earlier it's caught, the better the outcome. Delay too long, and the inflammation can leave permanent damage. The good news is, when diagnosed promptly, autoimmune encephalitis is treatable and often reversible. Immune therapies can calm the attack. Many patients go on to recover fully. Others need rehabilitation to relearn how to speak, walk, or focus. But they recover something even more precious, a sense of self. Now, this condition also raises a deeper question. How many other patients experiencing sudden psychiatric changes might actually have something happening in the immune system or the brain? Of course, not every case of psychosis or mood disorder is caused by inflammation. But autoimmune encephalitis reminds us that the line between mental illness and brain disease is not a wall, it's a thread. And that thread is more fragile than we think. It also challenges how we think about the brain itself. We often separate the neurological from the psychological structure from experience. But here, we see how tightly they're woven together. A chemical imbalance isn't just a theory. It's real. It has a face. And sometimes, it's the immune system whispering or screaming through the brain. Autoimmune encephalitis is rare, but its lessons are wide-reaching. It reminds us that behavior isn't just behavior, that memory, mood, and identity all depend on a brain in balance. And when that balance is broken even silently, the entire self can shift. But with awareness, with science, and with compassion, the flame can be controlled. And the mind, even when nearly lost, can come back to life. If this story gave you a new perspective on mental illness or brain health, leave a comment and share your thoughts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out the full article on Neuro&Psycho for a deeper dive into autoimmune encephalitis. Thanks for listening, and keep your brain curious. For more articles, visit Neuro&Psycho.com.